Good morning to everyone of you. Today I am going to handle about mechanical design of overhead lines. In that area I am going to handle especially about insulators. You may have a question, why insulators, right? Insulator is most important thing because insulator provide an isolation between your conductor, that means overhead line and towers, as well as the ground. It always prevent the flow of current from the overhead lines to the ground. This is the major use of insulators. Before discussing the insulator in detail, let me explain the properties of insulator first in a brief manner. Right? Insulators, we always know that insulator should have a high dielectric strength. That is the major aspect first. It should have high relative permittivity. That is the major one. And next to that, insulator should be free from porous. At the same time, it should not have any crack. If it is having any crack, it will automatically compromise the dielectric strength of that insulator. And the third one is it should have high mechanical strength. These are all the basic properties of an insulator. Next we can move on to the types of insulator. Why we should study the types of insulator? Because normally we are transmitting the electrical power as well as distributing the electrical power. In terms of transmission and distribution, we will be using several types of insulators. Like, let us go one by one. First one is pin type insulator. Let me discuss with pin type insulators. Normally, pin type insulator will be preferred for voltage in the range of 11 kV or 33 kV. So 11 kV or 33 kV is the maximum extent that you can use pin type insulator. Beyond that, you cannot prefer pin type insulator because it will be too bulky as well as costly. So we will not prefer pin type insulator beyond that. Next, we may have a doubt, what are the problems that are faced by the insulator while placing it, right? We may have two properties or two damages that may occur. First one is mechanical breakdown, and then second one is electrical breakdown. In the case of electrical breakdown, we may divide into two categories. First one is flashover and second one is puncture. Right? These two factors affect the insulators very much. First, let me discuss about the flashover. I will draw the pin type insulator roughly. This is your conductor. Above that there will be our pin type insulator arrangements. So these are pin type insulators and this is the pin and this is the cross arm, right? Suppose if there is a flashover, when this flashover occurs, that's the question, next question, right? The flashover occurs whenever the voltage rating is very high. Suppose if there is a fall between this conductor and the pin, then the flashover will occur. How this flashover occurs? Again, it ionizes the air, right? It discharges through the air, it forms an arc here, right? It will be like this. It takes the shortest path and the arc will be formed like this, right? So now this arc may damage the insulator, right? But during this arc formation, the insulator will function properly. Unless it exceeds a certain limit, it will function properly. When it exceeds the certain limit, surely it will damage the insulator. This is the first case of flashover. This is caused due to over voltage. As I said before, it functions, right? It functions, as I said before, it functions up to a certain limit. But in the case of puncture, the discharge takes place through this part, conductor, and through this dielectric medium, and like this it will be discharge will be taking place, so that the entire pin type insulator will be damaged. Entire insulator portion will be damaged. So this puncture is a fatal error in the case of insulator. This should not happen in any insulator. That is the major thing. So always factor of safety should be considered in selecting an insulator. Factor of safety is the ratio of puncture strength to flashover. In the case of pin type insulator, factor of safety is 10. So whenever the factor of safety is improving, automatically your insulator damaging property will be reduced. That means it has a less characteristics of damaging or less probability of damaging. So factor of safety plays a major role in selection of any insulators, right? Next, let me move on to the next type of insulator, that is suspension type insulator. This is nothing but flashover or flashover voltage, you may consider it. Flashover voltage, both the same, right? Next, let me draw the suspension type insulator. Why suspension type insulator? That is the next one, right? Suspension type insulator. It is beyond 33 kV. Normally these suspension type insulator are used beyond 33 kV. What is the advantage of using this suspension type insulator? You may have a doubt, right? Pin type insulator, as I said before, beyond 33 kV it is costly, but after that you may go for suspension type insulator. It is very cheap, and moreover it is very flexible. That is the major aspect of this. Suppose you may consider this suspension type insulator as a string of insulators, right? String in the sense each suspension type insulator will be like a disc. Each single disc will be comprising of 11 kV insulator. Suppose if there is a 66 kV transmission line, then you will be using 6 11 kV disc of insulators. That means a string of insulator known as suspension type insulator, right? So suppose if there is a damage in one particular disc, you may replace that particular disc and you may put another disc in that place. It will not affect the functioning of the system. Similarly, suppose the existing transmission line is of low capacity and you need to upgrade your transmission capacity, then you have to add additional insulated disc instead of having additional conductors. That is the greatest advantage of using this suspension type insulator. Moreover, whenever you are placing these strings in a fashion, vertical fashion, what is the advantage means whenever where the mechanical stress is low, in that place you can place this insulator string. That is the major advantage of suspension type insulator. So these are all the aspects of suspension type. Let me move on to the next type of insulator, that is shackle type insulator. Nowadays it is also known as strain type insulator. Shackle type is used under low voltage category, whereas strain type is high tension category or low tension. Where we are using the shackle and strain type, right? Whenever we are crossing the roads, whenever the transmission line crosses the rivers, whenever the transmission line meets the dead end, there we have to take a turn, right? In that area we have to go for either shackle type or strain type insulator. Where we are going for shackle type means, again, when the tension of the wire is minimum, then you can prefer shackle type. At the same time voltage is low, you can go for shackle type. Whereas whenever you are having a high tension, then you have to prefer strain type of insulator. How these insulators are arranged, let me draw the diagram. Right, it is similar to a suspension type insulator, but it is connected to the vertical plane. You can see here, right? Likewise, it will be connected. This represents strain type insulator. Stop. Let me move on to the next insulator, that is egg type insulator. Normally we will see this egg type insulator in our nearer to our homes, right? So why this egg type insulator? Egg type insulator or state type insulator, they will say. Egg type. This is used to provide mechanical support to the towers, right? If it is a tower, right, normally we will be having these kind of arrangements which are connected to the ground. In this portion we will be having a type of insulator. This particular type of insulator is known as egg type insulator. It is especially for mechanical support. It is usually for mechanical support. So these are the categories of insulators, right? Next we will move on to the topic called potential distribution across the insulated disc. That is the most important, how the potential is distributed among the insulators. For example, if you are considering a string of insulators, and in that string of insulator, how the potential is distributed among each disc or each insulator. Let us discuss about it, right? Let us see potential distribution over suspension insulator string, right? Potential distribution over suspension insulator string. Let me draw the first an insulator string here, right? This is our tower. This is our cross arm. Imagine it, this is our cross arm. Now I am going to draw our insulator as suspension type discs. So here we are going to place our conductor. Conductor, here it is tower, and here it is cross arm. This is pin, and then this is a dielectric. Remember, this is a dielectric, right? And again a metallic pin. So you can see the structure now, right? You are having two pins, right? Two pins, two metal pins. In between that, you are having a dielectric medium, right? Two metal plates in between a dielectric medium. Imagine it is nothing but a capacitor, right? Here also it is like a capacitor. This capacitance in the disc is known as self capacitance or mutual capacitance, right? So now if this self capacitance alone present in your transmission line, if the self capacitance alone present in your circuit or in this structure, then the uniform current distribution will be there. But in real time this will not happen. Why? We will see here, right? I will draw a next diagram here. So let me assume this like a capacitor, as I said before, right? New, this is C, right? Capacitance, and this is conductor. If this is the structure, only self capacitance is there, then the total voltage will be divided like this. It is V by 3, and then V by 3, and then V by 3. It will be divided like this, and then the charging current will be uniform. I, like that I will put. The current flowing path will be same. Everywhere the current will be same, but this will not happen in real time. Why? There will be another aspect called shunt capacitance that exists between this capacitance and the tower. Let me explain about this. As I mentioned, there will be a shunt capacitance, right? Now I will draw this shunt capacitance in this diagram. See, this is the bottom of the pin, and in between this pin and the tower or earth there will be another capacitance. Similarly here also it will be like this. I will erase this diagram. Small changes will be made in this diagram. So let me erase this. Let me erase this current, right? So in the similar fashion, in between this pin and the tower or earth there will be another capacitance. Here also in between this pin and this tower or earth there exists another capacitance. This is given as represented as C1, C1, C1. This is nothing but the shunt capacitance. Now the current will not be uniform in distribution here, right? So it will be given as I3 here, I2 here, and then I1 here. Here it will be represented as small I1, and then small I2, and then small I3, and then this path will be returning back, right? This is the diagram. So this particular C1 is called shunt capacitance. C1 is always represented as, C1 is represented in terms of Kc, right? C1 is in terms of Kc, it is represented as Kc. C1 is nothing but your shunt capacitance. This is self capacitance. So K is equal to C1 by C. This is the major factor determining the potential distribution across the string, right? So next one is how the potential is distributed. If there is a shunt capacitance in the transmission line, what about the potential distribution? If there is shunt capacitance in the line, the first disc which is nearest to the conductor will be heavily loaded. The potential will be maximum at this disc, and it moves, and as we move towards the cross arm, the potential will be dropping down. Here higher potential will be high, and in this disc it will be low. So automatically which disc will puncture very fastly? You may assume this disc, because heavy voltage will be appearing across this disc, so it may damage. So we have to uniformly distribute this potential across each disc. This is given by string efficiency, theory called string efficiency. This string efficiency theory will explain how the potential is distributed across the disc, right? Let me discuss about the string efficiency next. This unequal potential distribution across the string is expressed in terms of string efficiency. Wherever the string efficiency is higher, the potential distribution is more uniform. If the string efficiency percentage is higher, potential distribution across the string will be more or less uniform. First, let me discuss about string efficiency. We should know what is string efficiency first, right? String efficiency, it is nothing but voltage across the whole string. It is the ratio voltage across the string divided by N. It is nothing but number of disc, voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor. So this is the formula that we will use to express string efficiency. So it is nothing but the ratio of voltage across the whole string to the product of number of disc into voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor. If string efficiency is more, potential distribution is uniform. In the case of DC, the string efficiency is 100% because DC has no effect on insulation capacitance. That's why if you are using string type of insulator in DC supply, your string efficiency will be 100%, whereas in the case of AC it will not be that much, right? Now we are going to discuss about the methods of improving string efficiency, right? As I said before, if you want to improve the string efficiency, what factor you have to reduce? You have to reduce the shunt capacitance factor. Shunt capacitance factor is nothing but the value K that we have discussed earlier, right? Normally the K which we are using practically will be the in the range of 0.1, right? Now we can see the methods of improving string efficiency. The first method is use of longer cross arms. So longer cross arms in the sense, this is your tower, this is your cross arm. If you are increasing the length of your cross arm, automatically what happens, this capacitance formation can be prevented, right? This type of capacitance, shunt capacitance formation can be prevented. Through this means you can improve the string efficiency. That is known as using longer cross arm. And this is your cross arm, right? This is one kind of method to improve string efficiency. The problem vested with this method is, if you are prolongingly lengthening the cross arm, the mechanical stability will be very poor, right? It will start oscillating whenever the wind is high. So we have to be optimum while placing the cross arm, length of the cross arm. That is the difficult part of this system, right? And next one is using gathering. This is another method for improving the string efficiency, right? This is your arrangement. As we know, this is tower, this is capacitance, this is your conductor. In the bottom of the conductor and in between the pins, you are going to put a guard ring like structure, such that there will be capacitance existing between like this. This capacitance will be almost equal to the shunt capacitance, such that they both are equal, right? For example, if it is I3, right, it is small I3, this guarding current or guarding current, capacitive current is I3 dash, they both will be same. This I3 dash and I3 will be same, so they automatically, this will eliminate the shunt capacitance. This is another method, guarding method. This is nowadays normally used. About grading of insulator, next method is by grading of insulator, right? The major concept behind this is capacitance is indirectly proportional to voltage. This is what we are going to do in this case. Now we are going to use different types of insulator with different dimensions, having different capacitance, especially having if the particular insulator, if it is having higher capacitance, then it will be placed at the bottom of the tower. That means that will be the lowest disc in our string, such that if the capacitance is higher, automatically the voltage will be lesser in that case. Likewise, if we move on to the cross arm, the capacitance value start decreasing. I will show it in the diagram. You can see here, this is disc 1, this is disc 2, just an assumption. Here the capacitance value is higher, right? Next, as we move towards top, your capacitance value will be lowered, such that here there will be a low voltage profile, low voltage like that. Likewise it will be increasing. So by means of adjusting the capacitance value, you can distribute the potential uniformly. That is the concept behind this. That's all about the improvements methodology. I hope you have understood the topic clearly. Thanks for listening.